It is August 28th, 2025, at the corner of the Maisonneuve Boulevard and Grand Boulevard in NDG. And 11 days ago, I recorded a video showing how this arrow had been painted, freshly repainted recently. The bike as well, and the diamond there. These had been left unpainted for some time, but they repainted them certainly within the last few weeks. And the issue that I was raising was that I have repeatedly told the city manager of Côte-des-Neiges, Notre-Dame-de-Grâce, Stéphane Plante, and also not just Peter McQueen, but every single politician. Okay, that guy almost didn't stop. And that's what the issue is here. A lot of cars do not properly stop here. You know, most do what's called a Montreal stop, where they slow down, look around, and keep going without fully stopping. I don't have a problem with that, but a lot of them just sail right through. Like, that's a Montreal stop. But he might have been better off doing a full stop. This is a full stop. This is a full stop. And they're doing it because there's a woman on a wheelchair crossing. But a lot of cars barely slow down. It is another full stop because, well, there is somebody there and they saw them. Anyway, getting back to things. They went right through. That wasn't a Montreal stop. They barely, and they were looking right at me. They could see I was filming. So that's an example of what I'm talking about. These cars that barely stop, just go right through. And the point I was making again is this was painted recently. This arrow. It's not even as good as the older one. You can see how the older arrow is much larger and more visible. The bike and so on. So this was repainted, I'd say sometime this month, August. I don't think it was painted before August. But they couldn't be bothered to put in a zebra stripe style pedestrian crosswalk here. But it gets better. Because when I made that video, these paint symbols of bikes were not there. So this is now the fourth time that they have painted here at the intersection of Grand Boulevard and the Maisonneuve. But they can't be bothered to paint zebra stripe lines here to make it much more obvious that this is a pedestrian crosswalk and hopefully cause cars to be more respectful of that fact and of the stop signs. I said in the previous video that I learned recently that a yellow zebra stripe crosswalk, from a legal standpoint, it means you have to stop. It's like a stop sign. So ideally they would put in a yellow zebra stripe pedestrian crosswalk here, to say nothing of here. But this is the more important one, because of the fact that most cars just sail right through here. But a lot of cars sail right through and then go up. But they're coming up through anyway. So this right here should be, at minimum, white zebra stripe crosswalk. But they've repainted here 4 times and have not done it. So it's just ridiculous. The inefficiency, the incompetence, and I think the bloody mindedness, because they know that I have recommended the zebra stripe crosswalk here for over 2 years. And certainly in terms of bringing it up at city council meetings, over a year. And yet they repaint here 4 times now, this year, minimum. 4 minimum. There might be 1 or 2 times they painted I didn't know about. But they painted the yellow line They painted the white line of the bike path. Then they repainted this as it has always been. And then more recently, they painted the arrows over there. That was done within the last month. I'd say within the last 2 or 3 weeks. And now after that, some days, I don't know exactly how many, after that, they repaint, well, they didn't even repaint because this is new. Like this was not here before. There was nothing here before like this. So this is a new paint, clearly showing bikes, you know, where they should go kind of thing. But they can't be bothered to tell cars that, hey, there's a pedestrian crosswalk here, sorry. A bit of a Freudian slip there in terms of saying stop walk, you know, because really, if cars see that there's somebody who wants to cross, they should come to a full stop, like this person. See, oh, look, you went through anyway. There's a guy right there. This illustrates my point. Like, there's a guy clearly ready to walk across, and they just go through. So... je documente le manque de sécurité ici parce que les autos, ils arrêtent même pas.
Why didn't take photo?
What?
Why take photo? You go to the police station.
I'm showing how unsafe it is here.
Ah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah. So that's it. So the guy thanked me for showing how unsafe it is here. He seemed, you know, some people are concerned, you know, they don't particularly like to be filmed. And they wonder why, you know, I told them why. So yeah, it's just ridiculous. This is Projet Montreal at its finest. They've known, you know, the mayor is known, Peter McQueen is known, and they've known this. You know, I'm sure they knew it even before I brought up a city council meeting. I'm sure they've known about it. Certainly Peter McQueen, the local district councillor responsible for this area, he's known about this even before I moved into the neighborhood, probably back in 2016. So he's known about this issue for as long as he's been a city councillor, and certainly for longer than I, you know, finally got around to bring it up at a city council meeting. I was trying to avoid bringing it up at a city council meeting. I had other things to discuss, you know. But thanks to the negligence, if you don't mind my saying so, of Stéphane Plante, his now refusal to do anything more than put in larger stop signs, which proved to be ineffective, and he knew that. You know, Peter's done nothing, Stéphane Plante's done nothing, the mayor has done nothing, Projet Montreal administration has done nothing in terms of putting in a pedestrian crosswalk here that's much more obviously a pedestrian crosswalk with zebra stripes. There's more to be done too, but at minimum, at rock bottom minimum, if they put the zebra stripes here, I think it might cause the, last minutes. Yeah, like they're slowing down something because they see me filming. In other words, if I wasn't standing here filming and they couldn't see me, they'd just sail right through. So this is not safe, but Stéphane Plante says it is. Says it's sécuritaire. He said it's sécuritaire, the last city council meeting. So they'll be hearing from me next Tuesday.